What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Nomad Henry here, and today we're going to talk about living in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. If you're thinking about living here or if you're just visiting, today I'm going to talk about the cost, the weather, the good, the ugly, and everything else in between. So let's start off with Spanish. Do you need to learn Spanish? Do you need to know Spanish? Well, if you're just visiting, then knowing a little bit of Spanish definitely helps, but you don't need to have an advanced level of Spanish to have a good time here. However, if you're planning to be a nomad here and actually live here for 6 months or even for a few months, you want to learn some level of Spanish. Now, knowing the basics is going to really help you because when you order at restaurants, you're going to have an easier time, or when you get into a taxi, you're also going to have an easier time getting around. Now, there is no Uber here, which is the craziest and kind of the worst thing in my opinion, because it is more difficult to get a taxi. You can't just order it on demand like that. You have to actually go out there and pretty much find a taxi for yourself, and sometimes it could take a few minutes. Also, watch out, in the very touristy areas you will get charged a lot more for taxis. However, if you go into some side streets, you can find some taxis for 1/3 or even 1/4 of the price. Now, the main street in Playa del Carmen is 5th Avenue. If you ever go ahead and get a taxi, you will definitely get upcharged. Now, there's also a lot of really good restaurants. The restaurants are fantastic. However, you need to understand that you're not going to get the best price on 5th Avenue if you go to restaurants. The restaurants that I would recommend is going a little bit off of the beaten path. Go a little bit away from 5th Avenue and you will find that the prices for food drop dramatically. Now, let's talk about the weather. So many people want to come to Mexico because the weather is absolutely fantastic. I mean, you can't really find better weather than in Mexico. You have the beach, which is in Playa del Carmen, very blue, very clear. Now, I've also heard that Cancun has a decent beach. However, there is a lot more tourists in Cancun, so I've heard sometimes the beach could have some more seaweed. Another popular destination right next to Playa del Carmen is Tulum. Tulum is actually an even more touristy area. However, the water is clear and blue, but Tulum is a more expensive city, which to me didn't really make a lot of sense because Tulum is farther away from Cancun, and I would think that that more remote location would be less expensive. However, so many people in the world right now are moving to Tulum because it's becoming the Bali of US. Most days the weather is super nice. It's in the 80s or 90s. In the summer, it can get really hot up to 110 degrees, which is why so many tourists and so many nomads like to come here during the winters in the US, because you can escape the snow, you can be a snowbird, come down here, go to the beautiful ocean, and just get some more vitamin D. I would compare the weather very similar to Florida. I mean, it's a very good tropical environment down here. Now, in terms of diet is really interesting down in Mexico. Some people love it, some people hate it. Well, actually, the amount of people that hate it is probably in the 1%. I'd say 99% of people love it because the food is really good. Now, the most common thing that you can get in Mexico is a taco. I've actually not seen as many burritos down here in Playa del Carmen, but any restaurant that you go to, they will have some really good authentic tacos. Whether you're looking for al pastor or maybe even chicken taco, shrimp, steak, there's so many different types of tacos, and it's really hard not to gain weight. So if you're looking after your weight, maybe you do want to cook at home. In Playa del Carmen, there is a Walmart, so you can go ahead and do some of your grocery shopping there. That's what I end up doing myself. Now, let's discuss cost of living. So many people come down here because it's a lot cheaper. And what I want to let you know is that you can actually have a big budget, you can have a small budget, or you can have a medium budget. It's really up to you. There's all flavors of life down here in Playa del Carmen. You can definitely find an apartment or a small living place, like a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom if you have a family, and pay maybe $800 to $1,000 worth of rent per month. Now, if you do want to live closer to 5th Avenue and you have a shorter term lease, if you're only coming down here for 2 or 3 weeks or even 1 month, which would be a very long vacation, you can definitely see prices that go up to $2,000, maybe even $2,500 if you are in the touristy area. Now, I currently live in a really nice apartment. I'm right by the beach, and this apartment costs a little bit over $3,000 per month. This apartment is a 2-bedroom. It's in the best location and it has a really nice balcony. I also understand that I am overpaying for this apartment, so I think a lot of people can find way cheaper rents, and I think that I'm not getting the best price out there. However, I do have a gym and a pool in my apartment building. So in terms of cost of living, I actually think many people can actually get away with about $1,500 or $2,000 for a couple. However, if you want to live a little bit more lavishly, which is still pretty cheap in most relations compared to New York, San Francisco, many parts of Florida, you can spend $3,000 or $4,000 a month like I am right now. Now, something that I want to discuss is safety. So many people are worried about safety, and I do want to point out that Mexico is generally very safe. I've lived in Colombia, I've been to Ukraine, I've been to Georgia, I've been to Turkey, Portugal, and I've been to many other places in Europe, and I've been in many places in South America. And for me, Mexico is very, very safe. I walked around here at night. As long as you're not looking for problems, as long as you're not walking on the streets drunk in the evening in a touristy area, you should be fine as long as you're in Playa del Carmen. Most of the neighborhoods here are very safe. And whenever there is a problem, it's usually not directed towards tourists. I feel totally safe in Mexico, and actually I believe it's safer than some parts of the US, such as Philadelphia, my hometown. Sometimes in Philadelphia, I would feel totally unsafe, and I feel like it's more dangerous there than it is in many parts of Mexico. Those are the 6 things that you need to know if you're visiting Playa del Carmen or thinking about visiting here. Or if you're planning on living here and being a nomad, I think it's a fantastic place. There's so many co-working places, there's a beach, there's really good internet, and there's all the things that you need to be a successful digital nomad. If you liked the video, leave a like, and I have some goodies in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.